All right. Hello, Vajeh. Welcome to another episode of our Mind and Body Mondays. I am so excited to have you today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm just so excited to have you
Yeah,
here.
me too.
So excited to finally see your face. So everyone, we have Vajeh from Wellbeing's Integrated Healings. You are the co-founder and director. You have a plethora, a wealth of knowledge and education. You have your 5-year doctorate program graduation from the International College of TCM in Vancouver. Is that correct?
Yes.
Amazing. I also know you have a background in biochemistry and microbiology.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, so much. I'm so excited to be able to borrow some of your time today to share some tidbits of your wisdom and knowledge with our Aura community. I know today we're going to be talking about traditional Chinese medicine. So can you give us an idea? What is TCM?
So TCM is essentially Eastern medicine, and this medical platform is used to prevent, diagnose, and treat disease. And the TCM philosophy is based on the harmony and the equilibrium within our body. So we get sick or we feel unwell when that balance is it's out of whack essentially. So when we are not in a proper diet or sleep schedule, or we work too hard, we exercise too hard, or we're just not moving enough, all those things result in stagnation in our body, which affects the chi and blood circulation. So when that happens, we just feel sluggish and tired, or we feel negative and quick to anger. So TCM is just, it's all about creating and harmonizing our body so we feel good.
Yes, feeling good. I feel like so many things that you tick there I've experienced, from like stress to exercise, all those things, trying to run businesses and be a daughter or a girlfriend, or
Yeah.
be like just general day to day. So I feel like TCM is an amazing complement to, like you said, allowing us to just feel our absolute best.
No, of course. And just with that sort of interrupt, it's just those things will never stop. But the way, so there's just little tidbits and fine tuning that we can do our day to day to regain that balance.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's key. It's like it's the integration of the both, right? Integration of both sides, and finding the elusive kind of like work-life balance, so to say.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind sharing, how did you get introduced to TCM? A little bit about your story.
Of course, like, so when we go back to 2009, I had just finished my undergrad, and I was working as a research and development scientist assistant essentially in a lab. And I knew that this is not what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be in healthcare. And at the time, I was dealing with my own emotional and mental health struggles. I felt just sad and unfulfilled. And one of my friends just recommended me to try acupuncture. And I went in for my first treatment, not realizing what involved or if there were any needles. I just went in essentially with my eyes closed. I didn't know what to expect. And after a series of appointments, I just noticed such a big difference and improvement in myself and my quality of life. And that's what led me through the TCM path. And I just wanted to learn more and how I can use the skill set to help other people.
Mm, beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that path. Well, you have helped me, and when I found you, I was in a very like low part in my life, both mentally, physically, emotionally. I was experiencing severe burnout, several internal health complications, and as well as skin and a ton of things. And some mutual friend recommended me to come and see you, and that is, that's exactly what you did, right? You kind of brought me back to life in a way. And I mean, I owe a lot of
That's so
who
sweet.
who
Thank
I
you,
am
Kay.
right now to you, because it was like you were just, yeah, your energy and everything that you had taught me. And I had no idea. I was kind of the same way. I was like, I don't even know what TCM is. I don't even care. Someone said you could help. And the words help was what I needed. I just needed someone to like answer my call. So I kind of
Mm,
stumbled into it too.
thank you.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, we chatted about this before, but the TCM
Mhm.
biological clock, like what is that?
So within a 24-hour system, all of our organs are the most active at a specific time during the day. So in the morning when we wake up between 5 and 7 a.m., that's the large intestine time. That's when we tend to have our first bowel movement in the day for most. And spleen, stomach, the digestive organs are the strongest between 9 and 11. And it's just like through every 2 hours shifts within another organ system. And one of the things that I want to point out, the importance of liver and gallbladder, which are a pair and they go hand in hand, and their function is to detoxify the body and promote and filter the blood that we have and regulate our emotions, are the most active between 11:30 and 3 a.m. And that's when we actually need to take a break so these two organs can do their job for us for the next day. So we need to be in bed between 11:30 to be in a big deep sleep by midnight. So that's very, very crucial. And at that point, when you go to bed past midnight, it affects the quality of sleep, and our body has difficulty to promote and secrete serotonin, dopamine, and all those feel good, happy hormones that make us feel good and rejuvenated and fresh throughout the day.
Yeah, I feel that. I notice when I feel the most out of balance, I can always relate it back to sleep. Always. So
Mm-hmm.
whether it's
Same.
emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's eating, what I'm craving, I notice a lot of it. It's like sleep and then stress, but a lot of times if you're well slept, you can manage your stress a lot better in the day. Um, so
Absolutely.
yeah, of course, the daily routine of sleep is very important. And then a little bit about eating. So I know that you have a background in nutrition, and obviously the right times to eat the right foods. So is it better to have the bulk of your food in the beginning of the day? Like, when's the best time to stop eating? Do you have any insight into that?
So, just for example, breakfast is like you're breaking a fast. So, breakfast, like for me, it's really, really important. And it's the way that I always recommend myself and for my patients to regulate your blood sugar level. Because even if what I've noticed is through the whole biological clock system, digestion, the later that we eat, and that when the body goes into that starvation mode and affects our blood sugar level, it's really hard for us to actually feel full and satisfied. And when our stomachs are empty for too long, like after like an 8 hours of sleep or whatnot, that actually weakens the digestive system. So the most important thing is with diet and nutrition to be on a regular eating habit. So for some of us, it's good for us to eat every 5 hours. Some they feel more satisfied or feel their best when they have small, frequent meals throughout the day. So for individuals who are dealing with sensitive digestive system, or they've noticed that they're having leaky gut, feeling fatigue, eating smaller amounts frequently is very, very crucial because it takes the load and the work off of the digestion. So when you don't eat a big meal and your digestion has to work overtime to be able to break it down, it's a lot easier within that process. So everybody is different from patient to patient and from constitution to constitution. And everyone that walks into my practice, they're treated very differently. Like for example, some of us, we feel really hot, some we have cold hands and feet, and we're super warm. So the diet and the protocol needs to be completely different, but one blanket rule for all, just be on a regular meal plan and schedules. And the smartest doctor in the room is your body. Like you'll know when you feel hungry, when you crave specific foods. So it's really important to be in tune and just pick up on those little signals that your body is giving you day to day. And with Chinese medicine, or just in any complementary healthcare, all of these questions that the practitioners ask, like, it makes you have to think about and look at your body and your day-to-day routine a little bit different. Some of the things that you notice, these were signals, or just because you're not involved, which you didn't pick up on before, you end up at the end of the appointments and treatments because all of these questions are asked.
Right. Um, yeah. Yeah. Of course, everybody is very different. I think one thing too, like I get people that ask me in the nutrition and like fitness industry is, like, what's the latest I should eat, or, you know, what's like my last meal or my last snack. So is there like a rule of thumb that everyone can kind of follow around that?
So in order to, so when we go to bed, essentially the digestive system tends to shut off so the other organs can do the work that they do. So the best time for you to have your last snack is 2 hours before going to bed. So before, I'd recommend it to be in bed by 11:30. So your last snack should be around 9:30. I don't recommend going to bed hungry either, but when you have it 2 hours before going to bed, at that point, the majority of the food in your stomach has been digested. So your digestive system doesn't need to work overtime in the morning when you wake up.
Right. Right. Okay. That makes sense. And then what about, can we talk a little bit about seasonal eating and diet change, especially, you know, we just have come from winter. We're in, you and I are both in Vancouver, and we just like kind of got catapulted into a super hot spring. And I know that it's important for the body to kind of ebb and flow your meals with the seasons. So why is that important? And perhaps like what's something that we can all do right now in this like hotter spring, or just spring in general?
So in fall and winter, so we want to hold on to that warm energy in order for us to feel warm and not feel cold every time you step out, or when you put on layers, that's sufficient for your body. So your food makes a big difference in how your body regulates the temperature. So in winter, fall, more into soups and foods that are baked in the oven for longer. And then as we transition to warmer months, so we need to do the opposite. We need to cool off the body so we don't feel overly heated and continuously perspiring. So the key for that is to have more of a cooling food. So more of a smoothies and raw and fresh fruits and veggies. In spring and summer, I always recommend just to blanch your food very, very quickly for under 10 seconds, just for it to change the color slightly, but you still have that crunch. And or also saute or stir fry your veggies on high temperature for very, very short quick time, and just pull away from foods or veggies that are baked in the oven, because when you prepare your food in the oven or you boil it for a long time, you're actually incorporating, triggering more of a warm energy within that food, so it changes the property. So the way that you cook a specific food type from season to season needs to change, and also sticking to seasonal diets. So eat and incorporate all those fruits and veggies that are grown in the areas that you live. Right now, a lot of the root veggies like yam, carrots, they're more in season right now, and that's what we need to eat. More of a seasonal cooling foods, or would be cucumbers, are great to incorporate. They're very, very cooling. And what I like to do, even just to throw in a couple of slices of cucumber in my water as I'm drinking it throughout the day, and that's a great way to nourish that yin cooling energy of the body.
Oh, cucumber water. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
That actually, question I'm wondering, so I, along the way, someone mentioned that, okay, say when you're really hot, naturally you kind of want to drink an ice cold beverage, or like ice cold water, just because that kind of allows you to get the feeling that you're cooling immediately. But I've heard that it's better to drink something that's a little more like not hot, but like room temperature. And that helps your system, because once the cold gets in, you're actually firing up to heat it up. So it's yeah. So what's your take on that?
So, in Chinese medicine, if the yin and the yang energies are optimally balanced, we don't feel overheated and we don't feel cold. The body has that ability to regulate the temperature. But in terms of, look at the cavity that holds all of our organs, our intestine, stomach, heart, all of that, look at it as a 3-level steamer. It needs to be nice and warm, regardless of the season or time of the year. It needs to be nice and warm at an optimal temperature for the organs to be able to do their functions accordingly. So when we have something cold, it plays off that thermostat and that fire and that heat is put out. So the body needs to warm itself up again before it can function or digest the food or pump the blood within our veins. So that's why when you eat something cold, you really do feel cold. And even for me, I get shivers sometimes, and that also results in bloating and gas and a variety of other digestive issues. So the cooler, like of course, like everybody, I enjoy something cold and iced in. When you do crave it, it feels so amazing. But for most of the part, I always recommend to stick to room temperature is the ideal, just everything at neutral.
Right. Yeah, that's gonna like keep you, then that makes sense to me. Like if your body is
Mhm.
always in balance, you shouldn't feel
Mhm.
these highs and lows on either side. And I think, you know, between you, like our work together, I run very hot all the time. I feel like I'm
Mhm.
always on fire. So I know that I have some things that I need to obviously work on balance wise. And I know you've helped me with some of those things. But so the cold water question also is a little
Mhm.
bit for me because it does give you kind of like an immediate
Mhm.
cooling, but I
Yeah.
know that what it actually isn't, it's not actually helping you. Like essentially
Yes.
should be doing more room temperature. And I think, as our workouts are transitioning outside, maybe more in the
Mhm.
heat, I think that that's a good piece of
Mhm.
knowledge for people to know, that just have your water bottle that's just sitting in the shade as well, and so you
Mhm.
can just keep rehydrating with something that is the same temperature as the air, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something to note on the water, like when we feel thirsty, it's too late to drink. So in terms of if you're looking at a prevention, so drink your water throughout your workout and throughout the day. So that also even that helps dramatically in that desire of the thirst. You'll just feel thirsty less because you've just been drinking frequently throughout the day.
Right.
Even like I'm not saying like drink the whole ocean or the pool, but just even if you're opting for 2 liters of water a day, just breaking up throughout your day, taking sips here and there, so you do as your thirst is quenched.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I always try to have a water bottle on hand, no matter
Yeah,
what.
me too.
Whenever I see it, just constantly drink it. But when it's out of sight as well, you don't always think about it.
Absolutely.
And like you said, it's the visceral reaction of feeling thirsty. That's what prompts you. So I think
Hmm.
like a key is just always have water visible, because when you see it, just drink it.
You drink it. Yeah.
Definitely. Um, so I know, you obviously had a practice that consisted within a brick and mortar, within four walls, where
Hmm.
people could come and see you. And you have adapted with COVID online. So you're doing a lot of video conferencing calls exactly like this,
Hmm.
with a lot of like families. And I know you mentioned that you're teaching a lot about acupressure right now.
Hmm.
So and acupressure is essentially a self-administered pressure that you can do at
Hmm.
home with a myriad of benefits. So what are the main things that people are looking for right now with helping their babies or their kids or stress release? What are you finding people are looking for at home?
So right now, I've noticed with my pediatric patients that parents are reaching out for to help with like digestive issues. And right now, in this new norm that we've been put in, like it's young and old, we're all going through emotional changes. Like even kids, they're not outside playing with their friends; they have to play more indoor, and then that just affects everybody emotionally. Your parents are really stressed at home, and kids pick that up, and that results in like sleep irregularities, night terrors, or bedwetting, and a bit of a emotional disturbance, like kids that are easily agitated, or it takes a long while for them to calm down or feel happy. They don't want to pick up their toys. So with that, Because right now we're out of balance. We're in a situation that we've never been before. We can't go outside to visit your friends or play at the playground, which you normally would. And these acupressures, what it does is stimulates the blood circulation and calms down the nervous system so the body can reduce the cortisol level and increase serotonin and dopamine, those feel good, happy hormones. And with kids, it's really surprising and very amazing because the meridian system is not quite developed yet. So the treatments are very, very gentle and mild. Even at the clinic, I do needleless acupuncture, which is more like acupressure massage. And right now, during this time, I'm teaching parents to use some safe points that they can just to make their family feel good, because once the kids feel better, it takes off that stressors from the parents too, and the results have been tremendous.
Oh, that's, yeah, absolutely. I think that, yeah, happy. It's almost like the, the like happy, happy wife, happy life. It's like happy kids,
Yes, yeah,
happy everything.
yeah, true.
um, would you be able to show us, like, you mentioned digestion and calming with
Mhm.
children and infants. Like, would you be able to show us maybe a few, or even just one area of focus that could be helpful for people to work with at home?
Of course. So, two points that I want to share with you today. One is on the heart channel, and one is on the pericardium channel. And the pericardium is the membrane that protects the heart. So, when we go through stressful changes, like we suffer from anxiety, insomnia, night terrors, palpitation, or for some people, their stress shows up on their digestive system, right? We get nauseous and like all of a sudden hiccuping and burping, and just like also even aversion to food. So these 2 points combined, they're very calming and helpful for emotional as well as digestive issues, and they're both actually are on your hands and on your wrist. So the first one is heart eight. If you form a fist with your hand and the point where the tip of your pinky lies, just between these metatarsal of your pinky and the I forgot, sorry, the ring finger,
Yeah.
these two, you'll notice this pressure point. It may be a little bit tender. So if you're stimulating it's on your little bend, be very, very gentle, and you don't need a lot of pressure. And on yourself, if it's tender, keep working on it until that tenderness subsides a little bit. So this is a great cooling point. So clears that heart heat caused by stress or anxiety, and also regulates the sleep quite well. The next one is Pericardium Six. So that one's on your wrist. So if you put three fingers right at the wrist crease, and with your pinky, you can locate the point right below. It falls between these two tendons, and you can stimulate this point. So this point is known as the nausea vomiting point. So I recommend it to moms who are going through morning sickness, or if you're on a long drive, you feel anxious, this is the point to stimulate, to alleviate those symptoms. And again, it's very, very powerful. And because it's on the pericardium channel, it's very calming for the emotions as well. So these are great. And right now we're almost 1 month through spring. And actually, no, we're actually only 1 month away from the spring to be over for us to get into summer. So in summer is the heart season. So that's where right now it's really good to start stimulating heart points to prepare the body for when we transition into summer.
Oh, oh my God. I was just like feeling that overwhelming, but not overwhelming in a bad way, but like the
Mm.
rush of like calm just kind of like flow through my body there, and just like almost instantaneously. That was really cool.
That's really good, because when our emotions make us sick, and our body is so smart, it's just been designed for you to be able to regulate your own nervous system. So by acupressure, by exercise, breathing techniques, these are just day-to-day lifestyle tweaks that we can incorporate to our life, which have no side effects. It's only positive effects, much more powerful than over-the-counter medication that we would take to help us sleep, when sometimes that's needed. And I'm not against medication, but it's really important for us to learn how we can change our lifestyle and daily habits to be able to feel good and not rely on the medication, because over the long term that brings on its own side effects and the disharmony.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Regarding the points, is there a recommended duration of time that someone should spend on, and should you repeat on both sides, like if you're doing your hand one side and then the other?
So always do the points bilaterally on both sides when you're doing it at home. For adults, I recommend to stimulating the point until the symptoms subside, when you have that calming energy or when the nausea goes away. So, and that would be between 30 seconds up to 2 to 3 minutes. And for pediatric patients, I always recommend to stimulate the point for 15 seconds.
Okay. Cool. Gotcha. Amazing. I was just like, well, only need to do that for 3 seconds because I felt so calm. So that's
It's
amazing.
really calm. Yes.
Yeah. I always envision myself having this tool belt of all of the things I learn. And so I feel like you just added to my tool belt like one more thing. And when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed
Oh,
or stressed.
awesome.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Um, Amazing. Well, I know, so, like I said, I know you have your practice, and it's in Yaletown in Vancouver. And
Mm.
it seems like we've almost gotten the green light, in BC to slowly start opening things up, which would be really exciting. And I know you and I chatted about your guys' plan to slowly open up. So,
Mhm.
I know people that are in Vancouver can visit you there. And then you're also doing things online. So how can we find you? How can we connect with you? If anyone wants to learn more about
Mhm.
TCM or self-administered acupressure, anything, how do we find you, girl?
So the best way to find me is just through my Instagram account. It's Health Customized. There's also a link in my bio for my online booking. And if you have any questions, it's really easy for you to book a 15-minute complimentary consultation to even learn more. How can acupressure be incorporated in your life? Or is it necessary for you to come to the clinic, or we can administer a treatment and a protocol offsite via telemedicine? And I'm here to answer your questions. And I have actually scheduled set for throughout the week for in-person once I'm able to open up, and for telemedicine and virtual care. So I always recommend with the booking a 15-minute complimentary consultation. So without any distractions, I'll sorry about that. Without any distractions, we'll be able to discuss your healthcare needs.
Amazing. And we'll make sure that we link all that too, so people can find you. And if you need help, we'll just DM us and we will, we'll send everyone your way. I mean, like I said, you have helped me in times where I really needed help. And I think like you said, this is something that is preventative, but also something that's like maintenance. Like you
Mhm.
provide maintenance so we can continue to function how we're functioning, because like you said, it's not really going to slow down. So I've
Mhm.
definitely seen immense value in the practice that you share and what you do. So again, just needed to express my gratitude for
Oh, thank you.
you and everything. So, because I mean, what you do for me allows me to show up for our Aura community here. And, without you, I wouldn't be able to put my best foot forward. So
Oh, thank you so much. That means the world to me.
I appreciate it. And so I know that you're at work and I know you got things to do. So I'll wrap this up. But before I let you go, I just want to ask you one simple, beautiful question, and you can just
Yeah.
answer it however you feel. But if you can finish the sentence for me: I am grateful for.
I'm grateful for my community, my family, my patients, my friends, just the community that we've cultivated. And through good or bad, we continue to support each other, and no one's no one is alone or left behind. So I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, good. Yes. Praise the
Mm.
community right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, friends and family and everything. I love that too. So I mean, I am very grateful for you and your time today. So thank you so, so much for joining us. And I cannot wait to finally get to see you again in person, come and visit you. Yes, I'm so excited. So
Likewise.
hopefully it's sooner than later.
Yes. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, have an amazing rest of your Monday. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I thank
Mhm.
you with all the lovely information you've shared today. I think, I mean, hopefully we've helped a few people.
Oh, I hope so. Yes.
Okay, amazing. Have a wonderful
Thank you so much, Kate. Take
day.
care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.